Thank you for joining me today. Please have a chair and 2 blocks near your mat. We're going to start on our backs and open and warm the body before we move on to our standing one-leg poses. Arms at your side in a T shape. Knees are bent, feet against the floor. Lift your feet off the floor. Inhale and straighten your legs overhead, pushing through your heels. Exhale, bend the knees. Inhale, straighten the legs, push through the heels. Exhale, bend the knees. Inhale, straighten the legs, push through the heels. Now bring your legs to a comfortable overhead position and circle your ankles in opposite directions. And then reverse the circle. Bring your left foot to the mat and cross your right knee over your left knee. Lift your feet off the floor and hold your shins in your hands. We'll breathe here for a moment, allowing the right hip to soften and lengthen. Now take your right ankle to your left knee, thread your right hand between your thighs, and interlace your fingers behind the left thigh. And breathe here. Let's switch legs so the left knee crosses over the right knee and hold your shins in your hands. Slide your left ankle to your right knee. Thread your left hand between your thighs and interlace your hands behind your right thigh. Release your leg and bring the soles of your feet together, allowing your knees to open wide. We're not applying any force here, we're just allowing gravity to do the work. Now roll to your belly. Bring your elbows roughly under your shoulders, palms against the floor, and lower your forehead to the floor. Inhale, lift the back of the head, lift the shoulders, lift the chest. Exhale, lower to the floor. Inhale, lift the back of the head, lift the shoulders, lift the chest. Exhale, lower to the floor. Inhale, lift the back of the head, lift the shoulders, lift the chest, and look out over your right shoulder toward your right foot. We're going to breathe here. Notice that the right side of your torso shortens a bit as the left side of your torso lengthens. And lower to the floor. Inhale, lift the back of the head, lift the shoulders, lift the chest, look out over your left shoulder toward your left foot. Pause and breathe. Feeling the left side of your torso shorten while the right side of your torso lengthens. And lower to the floor. Tuck your toes and press your hips back to your heels. Widen your knees. Arms extend in front of you, forehead to the floor. Connect with your breath. Now push up to a tabletop position so your shoulders are over your wrists, your hips are over your knees. Inhale, lift the crown of the head, lower the chest, lower the belly, lift the tailbone. Exhale, tuck the chin, round the spine, tuck the tailbone. Inhale, lift the crown of the head, chest and belly lower, tailbone lifts. Exhale, tuck the chin, round the spine, tuck the tailbone. And one more time, your cow and your cat. Come back to a neutral spine. We're going to try to isolate that movement to our thoracic spine, so the area of your rib cage. So minimizing movement in other parts of your body. Lower your rib cage toward the floor, and then lift your rib cage toward the ceiling, and lower it toward the floor, and lift it toward the ceiling, and lower it toward the floor, and come back to a neutral spine. Now C-curve your body to the left, and C-curve your body to the right. Inhale in one direction and exhale in the other. Now come back through center, and again we're going to attempt to isolate the movement to our thoracic spine or our rib cage area. So shift your rib cage to the left and shift your rib cage to the right and to the left and to the right and to the left and to the right. Now tuck your toes and walk your hands and your feet to the long side of your mat. Legs are about one leg distance apart. You can use your blocks here if you'd like, or you can rest your palms against the floor. Inhale, then exhale, drop your right hip, feel your left hip rise. Inhale through center, exhale, drop your left hip, feel your right hip rise. Inhale through center, right hip drops, left hip rises. Inhale, left hip drops, right hip rises. Do that one more time. After your next full breath, inhale your right arm up overhead. You can look up at your right hand if you'd like. Exhale the right arm down. Inhale the left arm up overhead. Exhale the left arm down. Inhale, right goes up. Exhale, right comes down. Inhale, left goes up. Exhale, left comes down. And then repeat one more time on each side. Heel toe your feet closer together. Rotate your toes out and your heels in. Bring your hands to your hips and lift your torso to center. Track your knees over your toes and then straighten your legs. Bend the knees and straighten and bend and straighten and bend. Pause here for a moment. You can keep your hands on your hips if you'd like, or you can inhale your arms up overhead. Exhale, bring the palms together at the center of your chest. Connect with your breath. Find a depth which allows you to sustain your horse pose or your goddess pose for a few breaths. And straighten your legs. Grab your chair. Take your feet about hip width distance apart. Hands can be on your hips. Shift your weight to your left foot and then to your right and to your left and to your right. And then shift your weight to your left foot and pause here. Feel your weight at the base of the little toe, the base of the big toe, and in your heel. Bring your hips back over your knees, your shoulders over your hips. Your ribs are in neutral position, so if you're flaring forward here, engage your belly and bring them back over your hips. Your ears are over your shoulders. You may want to grab your chair here and use it to support you. We're going to do a movement before we actually move into our tree pose. So open the right hip and bring your knee up to the side. And then pulse your knee toward the ceiling. And then pause. You can bring the sole of your right foot to your inner thigh. You can take the sole of your right foot to your inner shin, to your inner calf. Or you can take your right heel to your left ankle and rest your toes on the floor. The only place to avoid is the area of your knee. So find a position that you can sustain, or you can start at your inner thigh and move down as needed, or you can start at your ankle and move up if that option is available to you. Hands can stay on the chair for support. You can bring your hands to your hips, or you can inhale your arms up overhead. Exhale, bring the palms together at the center of the chest. We're going to pause and breathe here. Now relax your arms. You may want to use your chair as we transition to the next movement. Wherever your right foot is, bring your right knee up to the side. Keeping that hip open, so not closed, but keeping that hip open, extend the right leg back behind you, pushing out through your right heel. And then bend the knee and bring your leg to your right side in a fire hydrant position. And then straighten the leg behind you, pushing out through the heel. And we'll do that a few times. Be sure you're breathing. Okay, pause with your leg extended behind you, and we're going to move into our half moon or Ardha Chandrasana pose or asana. You can keep your hand on the chair. You may want to bring your left hand to the seat of the chair. We're going to inhale our right arm up overhead, opening our chest and stacking our shoulders. Continue to push out through your right heel. Left leg can be slightly bent or left leg can be straight. So that's an option. Or you can take your left hand to the floor in front of your left foot on the pinky toe side. And inhale the arm up, opening the chest. Or you can use your block here. Find a place where you can sustain the pose for a few breaths. And let's focus on slowing our breath here. Bend the left knee, take your right foot to the mat. Knees can stay bent. Take your torso over your thighs. Allow your head to hang. You can interlace your hands at the back of your head and allow the weight of your hands to bring a little space to your cervical spine. Breathe. Take your hands to your hips and either roll or lift to standing with a long spine. Use your chair for support again here. Inhale the right leg up ahead of you or up in front of you, and then extend your right leg behind you. Toes face the floor here so your right hip is closed, and then start to pulse your right heel toward the ceiling. Pause when your leg is at hip height. You can keep your hand on the chair if you'd like for support. You can keep your hands on your waist if you'd like. Press out through your right heel. The left knee can be bent or the left leg can be straight. You can inhale your arms up and in front of you, extending out through the fingers, or you can bring your palms together at the center of your chest. Find a pose or a place where you can sustain for a few breaths, or you can move from one variation to another. Forehead faces the floor. Push out through that right heel. Breathe. If you wobble a little bit, just come back in to your warrior three. Bend the left knee, drop your right foot to the mat. Bring your hands to your hips and roll or lift with the flat back to standing. Take your feet hip width distance apart. Place your hands on your belly and connect with your breath. And we're going to repeat those movements on the other side. So bring your chair to the right side of your mat, or to the right of you near the mat. And we'll start by shifting our weight to our right foot and bending our left knee, bringing it up beside us. Pulse the left knee toward the ceiling. Then pause, take the sole of your left foot either to your inner thigh or your inner shin, or take your left heel to your right ankle, allowing the left toes to meet the mat. You can use your chair for support here, or you can inhale the arms up overhead. Bring your palms together at the center of the chest. And breathe. You may find that you're a little more wobbly on one side than the other. It might be helpful to find a spot where you can rest your gaze. Try to slow your breath. Now you can use your hand for support as we transition into our next movement and pose. Bring your left knee out beside you, wherever your foot landed. Bring your left knee up beside you. And then keeping that hip open, extend your left leg behind you, pushing out through the heel. And then take your left knee to your side, and then push back and to the side and back. And we'll do that several times. And pause with your leg extended behind you. Your toes face out to the side. Your right knee can be bent, or your right leg can be straight. Your right hand can be on your chair. The right hand can be on the floor in front of you on the pinky toe side. Or the right hand can be on a block. Wherever your right hand is, inhale, opening the chest, lifting the left hand toward the sky. And breathe. Bend your right knee and take your left foot to the mat. Drop your torso over your thighs. If you'd like, you can interlace your hands behind your head. Connect with your breath. Bring your hands to your waist and rise to standing. Position your chair so you can use it for support. And inhale your left leg up in front of you, then extend your left leg behind you, keeping your hip closed instead of open. So the toes face the floor. Press out through your left heel, and your right leg can be slightly bent or your right leg can be straight. Pulse your left heel toward the ceiling. Pause with your left leg at hip height. You can continue to use the chair for support, or you can inhale your arms up in front of you, palms facing one another, extending out through the fingers, or you can bring your palms together at the center of your chest. Find a place where you can sustain a few breaths. Press out through your left heel. Forehead faces the floor. Bend your right knee and take your left foot to the floor. Bring your torso up to center, hands to your belly. Connect with your breath. Bend your knees and lower your hips toward the mat. We're going to come into a yogi squat for a few moments. You may want to use a block to support your hips here. And if this doesn't work for you, you can come all the way down to your bottom. Bring your palms together at the center of your chest and use your elbows. Take your elbows to your inner thigh, increasing the range of motion just a bit, not to a painful spot. Catch your breath. And lower all the way to the floor. Stack your right ankle over your left knee and your right knee over your left ankle. See if that works for your body. If it doesn't, then come to any comfortable cross-legged position. Lower your belly and lower your chest toward your lap. You can rest your forearms on your legs. You can rest your forearms on the floor, or you can rest your forehead on a block. We're going to stay here for a few moments. And let's switch legs. So take your left ankle over your right knee and your right knee over, no, your left ankle over your right knee and your left knee over your right ankle. Or find your comfortable cross-legged position. And then lower your belly and your chest toward your lap. Forearms can come down to your legs or the floor. Or you can take your forehead to a block in front of you. Lift your torso back to center. Bring the soles of your feet together and allow your knees to open wide. You can open the soles of your feet like a book. I like to use my thumbs to look for any tight or tender spots and apply gentle pressure while I'm here. You can bring the heels closer to your body if you'd like, but just find a comfortable spot. Don't try to force anything. Notice your breath. We're going to roll to our back. Feet on the floor, knees bent, arms at a T. Inhale, drop your knees to the left and pause and breathe, allowing the front of your right thigh and right hip to lengthen here. Inhale up through center. Allow your knees to fall to the right. And pause and breathe. Knees come back through center and extend your legs on your mat. Bring your hands to a comfortable resting position near your torso. You can close your eyes if you'd like. Allow your feet to get heavy. And your legs to be heavy. And your hips. And your rib cage. And your shoulders. And your arms. And your head. Watch your breath. Stay in your Shavasana, your resting pose, for as long as you'd like. Thank you for practicing with me today.